Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and gamers alike. Today is June 19, 2013, and it appears to us that Microsoft has unleashed some very exciting news. So it's after all the press releases, after E3, this is now. It is time for Microsoft and Sony to get their stuff together, get everything they want to get together before this, or I should say before the Christmas holiday season rolls around, because once that comes around, all stocks are going to be out, everyone's going to be flooding the stores or flooding Amazon, all the online orders are going to be coming in. Basically, if you have not heard, Microsoft has addressed a lot of the gripes that people have had about the Xbox One. Unfortunately, they have not changed the name or the look of it. But anyway, that no one cares about that. Basically, what they thought to be their future of gaming, meaning their DRM restrictions, and which stands for Digital Rights Management. I actually had to look that up myself. And their always online connectivity, they have decided to change. As of right now, Digital Rights Management, before, they required that once you bought the game, you were required to go connect to the internet and put the code, and that game will pretty much be somewhat quote-unquote locked to your system, to your account. Now, if you take it to a friend's house without signing into your profile, I can't remember what it was, there was some things floating around, but I believe you would only be able to play that game for an hour without signing in. And you could only lend the game to people who have been on your friends list for at least 30 days, or for someone who is part of your family inside your household, whatever the heck that means, because as far as I'm concerned, you could probably add someone all the way in Antarctica on your household. But anyway, that's besides the point. What other restrictions do they have on it? Certain third-party games and first-party games, you would not be able to trade in. You would not be able to use certain used games. You would not be able to share. You should be able to share your games with your friends without the restrictions that I previously stated. So there were a bunch of, all these features were awesome. They were restrictive. Another feature was that you could access your digital library from almost anywhere. So you could, even if your friend didn't own Grand Theft Auto 5, you could just go to his house, sign into your profile, and play Grand Theft Auto 5 off the cloud, which still is hasn't really been aired out. Anyway, that's with the DRM. What was the other thing I was just talking about? I just forgot. I'm drawing a blank. This is DRM. Oh yes, and the online connectivity. Before today, your Xbox would pretty much have to be connected to the internet at least once every 24 hours for it to check your system. It would check your system mainly to make sure everything's up to date, and most importantly, make sure that none of your games are pirated or illegally downloaded or any of that kind of stuff. Because believe it or not, pirating is hurting the industry as much of a $1 billion industry that gaming seems to be. But that's another subject for another time, for another story. It will only have to be connected. Anyway, like I was saying, it'll have to be connected to the internet, even if you wanted to play your single player campaign story mode of, let's say, the next Halo game. It would still need to be connected to the internet. That means even if you, the person who has been waiting since 2006, wanted to play Kingdom Hearts 3, marathon it in 2 days, you would still need to be connected to the internet. Even if, for whatever reason, your internet was down because everyone was blogging about it. Anyway, always connected to the internet. So, I mean, here in the States, at least in the city parts of the area, that's not really a big problem for us. If you possibly were in a more rural area, or a little bit more farmlands, and a little bit far away from civilization, as quote-unquote we Americans know it, that would be problems. You might not have the best internet connection. If you were to take your Xbox with you on a long road trip, take it to the hotel, plug it up in an RV, that wasn't going to happen unless you had internet access. And a lot of hotels do have internet, but not every single one does. if you were in the armed forces, which is the thing I think about the most. I'm sure there are a lot of soldiers out there who are overseas that love to play video games. It's how they de-stress, along with playing basketball and doing those other awesome activities that they get to do. But in their spare time, it would suck because I'm sure a lot of those places don't have the best internet connection. I'm sure there's probably... I shouldn't be speaking. I know nothing about the armed forces. But anyway, the point is, it would be kind of bad for them. And another thing is that the Xbox One originally, when it was first announced at the Microsoft press conference, all the way through E3, all the way to, let's say, June 18th, it was region locked. So basically that meant that importing games would not be allowed. For the general Xbox gamer, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that a lot of the games that they want to play are made in the States anyway, so it's going to be made pretty much wherever they want it at the same time as everyone else. Whereas unless you were a pure RPG gamer, a JRPG gamer, I should make the specification of, there might be a lot of cool games that are coming out in Japan that you want to import, and of course you wouldn't be able to do that with the Xbox One originally. But now it is no longer region locked, nor does it require the 24-hour internet access. So, I think I mentioned this already, but Microsoft states that you will have to be connected to the internet the first time you get your Xbox. That's a lot better. I'm sure that almost a lot of people can do this. I'm hoping that a lot of people can do this because I'm just going on a limb here. I am not the biggest Microsoft fan. I'm not the biggest Sony fan. I'm not the biggest PC fan. But I really hope Microsoft does well. I would really hate to be Microsoft drop out of, the console wars. As a lot of people I would have to agree with a lot of people in saying that it is a pretty much two-sided console war, even though there's Nintendo on here. Nintendo's kind of doing their own thing, but Sony and Microsoft are pretty much going at it neck and neck. And I kind of like this competition. So that's a lot of gripes that have been handled by Microsoft that have been taken attention to. I believe there are probably some more gripes. I don't know if we're going to get it by, I don't know, I guess it's going to be released in November, I imagine. So it probably won't happen until the November release date. But I know a lot of the things that people might have problems with is probably the fact that the Kinect is bundled with the system. A lot of people are fans of Kinect. A lot of people, I've heard that it doesn't really work for them. So hopefully this Kinect 2.0 works better. I know a lot of people might not want to use the Kinect, and I'm sure you don't have to, but the fact is the Kinect is literally driving up the price $100. That is the reason why the Xbox One and the PS4 pretty much are not the same price. That's pretty much the main thing. Unless I can think of something else. There was something else. Of course the shape, but who gives a crap if the thing looks like a VCR? So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Xbox One. So, as you know, I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago was E3, and of course everyone says that Sony stomped out Microsoft. How about now? What do you guys think? Do you think Sony's still in the lead? Did you ever think Sony was never in the lead? I kind of like what Sony's doing. I mean, it's $100 cheaper, which the cheapskate, the Mr. Krabs in me is rejoicing. It's just basically more hardware, more processing power, better graphics for $100 less. So that's the main reason why the PS4 is in the lead for me. A lot of people say that, Microsoft has this exclusive that Sony doesn't have. Sony has this exclusive that Microsoft doesn't have. Whatever. We all know that Nintendo has the most exclusives. Stop your whining. That's pretty much it. Sony and Microsoft, you guys weigh in the comments, not comics. Weigh in the comments. Make a video response if you so well please to do. But a lot of y'all might be like, oh, sweet brown, ain't nobody got time for a video response, so leave it in the comments. What do you guys think? I personally am excited for this console war, even though it kind of quote-unquote started with the Wii U last year, or how many years ago it came out. We'll see where this goes. Should be an interesting holiday season. Hopefully, we won't hear too many fatality reports of people getting trampled in the malls because they wanted to get the new Xbox or the PS4 or whatever. But we shall see. Are there certain exclusives that you like over other ones? Sound off in the comment section. I'll see you guys later. Over and out.
Lightning strike on standby.
Oh, one more thing. The only thing that will possibly get one of the companies to win me over is if backwards compatibility was announced. If I could have backwards compatibility on a PS4 or an Xbox One, more so PS4 because I have more PS4 games. Actually, yeah, either one, because I will possibly get a PS4 and Xbox One and still just buy some old 360 or PS3 games. So, Microsoft and Sony, if you guys were to announce backwards compatibility, you got my vote. Anyway, that's it for real this time. Peace.
You don't need a wager. Cash your t-shirt. UAV awaiting orders. Friendly UAV inbound. Surveyor en route. Lightning strike one. Lightning strike awaiting coordinates. Friendly UAV inbound. You don't need a wager. Lightning strike coordinates received. Friendly care package inbound. Friendly hunter drone deployed. Counter UAV. We've lost the advantage. Friendly counter UAV inbound. We have pulled forward. UAV. As expected, you have not failed us.